next here is call meeting to order. And I see declaration, purpose of meeting, and roll call. Do we have a roll call?
Yes, Chair. Mayor West? Present. Present. Mayor Rabel? Present. Mayor Tuck?
Present.
Supervisor McCarty?
Present.
Supervisor Hippel?
Present.
Mayor Price? Mayor Alexander? Councilman Green?
Present.
Mayor Glover? Supervisor Cornwell?
Present.
Mayor Newman?
Here.
Mayor Dyer?
Present.
Vice Mayor Dent? Present. Supervisor Shepherd?
Here.
Senator Lucas?
Here.
Senator Mason? Delegate Tatum? Delegate Patton? Delegate Knight?
Here.
Board Member Stan?
Here.
District Engineer Hall?
Here.
Acting Director DeBrule? Vice President Barb Nelson? Or Officer Kathy Bett?
Thank you. And I'd like to welcome our new HRTAC members from the House of Representatives, from the House of Delegates. Delegate Barry Knight, Delegate Ann Tata, and Delegate Amanda Batten. And we want to especially thank Delegate Knight for the gap funding this session. Thank you very much. We actually thought it was going to be one number and one being higher, so that we're very appreciative of that. And we also want to welcome Wayne Coleman, who's a member at large representing the Commonwealth Transportation Board.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Now I'm going to ask for approval, motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed is nay. Motion carries. We are now at a public comment period, and I'm going to ask our Director Page if we have anyone signed up, first of all, for public comment.
Mr. Chairman, we do not have anyone signed up for public comment, nor have we received any written comments since the last meeting started.
Great. We're now at item 4, which says Chair's comments. No, I would not comment, but I do want you to be cognizant of something. At our last meeting, we had Secretary Miller come and make somewhat of an appeal for funds for the gap, the 29-mile gap between Lightfoot and Bottoms Bridge. I saw that reception last evening, and even though he received this generous gap funding from the General Assembly, he still has his hand out. And so I've talked with Director Page, and we think there may be some way we can do this, but I guess it's probably going to be a decision by this board as to how much we can help them and when we can help them. But he says that, I guess, constructing the additional lanes between Bottoms Bridge and Lightfoot will actually benefit us perhaps more than it will benefit the opposite direction. So again, I want you to keep that in mind as we move forward. We're not asking for any action today, but we can, again, keep that in mind. And with that, I'm going to ask our Director Page for item number 5.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before you in your agenda package and on the agenda front page is consent item 5, items A through D. I'll read out the actions in the consent agenda. A is minutes of the April 21st, 2022 regular meeting. B is the HRTAC FY 2023 through FY 2028 Plan of Finance Update, 6-year operating and capital program of projects for the region's high priority projects in the Hampton Roads Regional Transit Fund. C is the HRTAC 2045 Long Range Plan of Finance Update for the region's high priority projects in the Hampton Roads Regional Transit Fund update, as well as D, which is the last item of your consent agenda action today, is the FY 2023 HRTAC meeting schedule. Mr. Chairman, turn the floor back over to you to run the vote, sir.
I'd like to ask for a motion and a second to approve the consent items.
So moved. So moved.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed is nay. Motion carries. Item number 6, Director Page.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Moving into the action items, sir, I'd like to call Councilor Glima to the microphone. As you know, General Councilor Glima to the commission will be handling the election of officers in coordination with Chair Rabel on the nominating committee. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Director Page. Under the bylaws, the commission members who will serve in the offices of chair and vice chair are elected annually at the commission's annual organizational meeting, which is the first meeting of the commission in June, this meeting. The persons elected must be voting members. In accordance with the bylaws, the chair appointed a nominating committee. And after I'm done explaining the process, the chair will ask Mayor Rabel, Mayor Rabel, chair of the nominating committee, to present the officers proposed by the nominating committee. Then additional nominations may be made from the floor by any member. If a member desires to make a nomination, he or she would make a motion. The motion does not require a second for that person to become a nominee. After the nominating period is closed, the chair will repeat all the nominations in the order in which they were received. If there are multiple nominees for each office, roll call voting will be used for each office, for each nominee proceeding in the order in which the nominations were made. When a nominee receives the requisite votes, he or she shall have been elected, and voting on further nominees discontinued. If none of the nominees receive the requisite votes, the floor will be reopened for additional nominees, and the process will begin again. If there are not multiple nominees, unless a member objects, the nominees will be acted upon as a slate by voice vote. Mayor Rabel.
Thank you. The nominating committee conferred and presents the proposed FY 2023 slate of officers as follows. Donnie R. Tuck, Hampton Mayor, as chair, and Dr. Richard W. Rick West, Chesapeake Mayor, as vice chair.
Okay, are there any additional nominations? So we need a motion to nomination be closed.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. So now I guess,
I'll read the motion.
okay, thank you.
So the motion is to approve Donnie R. Tuck, Mayor of Hampton, as the chair, and Dr. Richard W. West, Mayor of Chesapeake, as the vice chair.
So motion is second.
Second.
All in favor, sorry, discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. Item D, Director Page.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Moving forward, and congratulations to the slate. The 2019 A Bond Anticipation Date Retirement Decision Brief is before you. And Agenda 6B, which is this action item, is coming to you with the HRTAC staff and bond council recommending that the commission approve the prepared resolution 2022-04, authorizing application of funds in connection with the payment and retirement of the Hampton Roads Transportation Fund Intermediate Lien Bond Anticipation Dates, Series 2019A. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to call upon our bond counselor, Eric Ballou. Mr. Ballou, would you like to give us some comments as bond counsel to the commission on this action? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Page, Mayor Tuck, members of the commission. Very briefly, this action completes the payoff of the 2019 bond anticipation notes. Let me set the stage for you. The bond anticipation notes issued in 2019 provided interim funding of the initial 6 projects. The long-term funding is, as you may recall, through the 2019 TIFIA loan agreement. And so the bond anticipation notes come due on July 1, and the sources of payment are set forth in the commission brief. These consist of initial draw on the TIFIA loan, unexpended proceeds of the bands, because spending slowed a little bit on some of the projects, so there's some money left over, and that'll be picked up under draws under the TIFIA loan. And then an amount payable from the commission's HRTF. And just to add some color to that decision, the HRTF funds are currently bearing interest at about 1%, whereas if you do a draw under the TIFIA loan, that's about 1.9%. So it's fiscally advantageous to minimize right now the overall drawings under the TIFIA loan at the moment. So the decision brief sets forth that. This sort of is a housekeeping resolution that sort of sets the stage in terms of making that payoff. And I'll be happy to answer any questions members of the commission may have.
Any questions from members of the commission? So, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add. All right, so that a motion and a second for approval.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item C.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item C before you, 6C under the action items, is the HRTAC Segment 4C Standard Project Agreement. This is an amendment to the Segment 4C agreement of the Hampton Roads Express Lanes Network. The commission is being asked to approve an amendment to that standard project agreement relating to the Hampton Roads Express Lanes Network, particularly Segment 4C, which will enable the full build, which takes us all the way through construction of this project segment. As you all know, the Hampton Roads Express Lanes Network has been included in our updated funding plan, plan of finance, and the HRTAC funding plan, and also definition and financing plan that's been previously approved by the commission. As you all do know, the common practice as we go forward with maturing projects and bring these actions back to these contract agreements. The fiscal impact will be $411,627,678, provided 4C is seen through its completion. So I'll turn the floor back over to you at the podium to take any questions, and then ask that Councilman Blaine will read the motion, sir, when you're ready for action.
Any questions on 6C? Councilor Greenwood, would you please read the recommended motion?
Thank you, Chair. The motion is that the Commission, one, approves the proposed amendment to the existing standard project agreement for funding and administration with respect to Segment 4C of the Hampton Roads Express Lanes Network, and two, authorizes the Chair to execute and deliver such amendment with such changes, insertions, or omissions as may be finalized by the Chair with the advice of the Executive Director of the Commission's General Counsel.
Yeah, ask for motion second.
Motion for approval.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Director Page.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Moving forward, we have agenda item 6D, which is an action item. This is the policy on all virtual public meetings. HRTAC staff is recommending that the commission approve the all virtual public meeting policy following a brief overview by our counselor in Gleno on this draft policy and before action questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Page. As you will recall, during the pandemic, the commission met virtually, but that was pursuant to the declaration of emergency that the governor had ordered and the special legislation that related thereto. During the last session of the General Assembly adopted a new law that would permit all virtual public meetings, and that was codified at section 2.23708. 3 of the code. It provides that the public body can do so, can meet virtually, provided that it has a policy that's been adopted, and that's the purpose of bringing forward the policy today. This policy will allow the commission to have an all virtual meeting, meaning there doesn't have to be a quorum present in this hall. And there's a limitation under the policy that complies with the law that says the number of times that we can meet by all virtual public meetings are limited to the greater of 2 times per calendar year or 25% of the commission meetings. Also, importantly, you should remember that if an all virtual public meeting is being held, that you cannot have more than 2 commission members in any one location unless that one location is made accessible to the public.
Any questions for Councilman Quinlan?
I have a question, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Is the purpose of this in case there is an emergency, or is this part of our plan for meetings? What's the impetus for this?
It's to have the policy adopted so that if the chair does feel that there is an emergency or any purpose that would require exigent action by the commission, that you would have basically this tool in your tool.
So it is for emergency purposes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Good mic's on. All right. Councilman Green, would you please read the suggested motion?
Thank you, Chair. The motion is as follows. The commission approves the Hampton Roads Transportation Accountability Commission policy on all virtual public meetings.
A motion and second.
So moved. Approved.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Your please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Moving forward with that action agenda item 6E, this is the I-464, I-64 interchange improvements, full interchange access report development. The commission has received, commission staff has received a request letter from VDOT, which is included in your decision brief package today, to move forward with a full interchange access report development for the I-464, I-64 interchange improvements. This commission may be aware already that the Interstate Operations and Enhancement Program, thank you members of the Commonwealth Transportation Board that are present today, has funded a part of what we have in our full interchange development, which is critical to not only congestion relief, but also the interaction with the Hampton Roads Express Lanes network, which we are contemplating and moving forward with delivered construction agreements. So the commission is being asked today for an endorsement of the VDOT request of the deallocation of funds that they've identified as savings off of the I-264, I-64 Phase 3A project at the amount of $2.5 million, and also request for allocation of the $2.5 million for the I-464, I-64 interchange improvements, full interchange access report development. This is also, and this is an endorsement and authorization to authorize the executive director to conduct a public hearing on the addition of the I-464, I-64 interchange improvement, interchange access report, IAR, as part of our 6-year funding program. Currently, the interchange is not in our program, but we need to get it in the program, sir, in order for this to occur. So I turn the floor back over to you, sir, for any questions. We also have our Administrator Hall here from the Hampton Roads District who may be able to answer any questions as well and make comments. Thank you, sir.
Any questions regarding item 6F? Hearing none, Councilman Greenwood, would you please read the recommended motion?
Yes, sir. The motion is that the commission, one, endorses the VDOT request for the deallocation of $2.5 million of unused HRTAC, HRTF committed funds from the I-264, I-64 Phase 3 project, UPC 106693, and a request for allocation of $2.5 million for the I-464, I-64 interchange improvements, full interchange access report development, and 2, authorizes the executive director to conduct a public hearing on the addition of the I-464, I-64 interchange improvements, interchange access report.
So motion and second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Item 6F, I think I messed up, I called it 6F last time, it was 6E, this is 6F.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You're fine, sir. Thank you. It's agenda 6F is an action item. I just want to call to the attention of the commissioners in the room that the Hampton Roads Regional Transit Fund is an action that's made by the commissioners of the member jurisdictions of Chesapeake, Hampton, Newport News, Norfolk, Portsmouth, and Virginia Beach. We know those as the 6 cities of HRT, Hampton Roads Transit, for the distribution of the Hampton Roads Regional Transit Funds. In this action item, the chair of the Regional Transit Committee is recommending to the commissioners of the member jurisdictions that I just mentioned that they approve the Hampton Roads, the Transportation District Commission of Hampton Roads' FY 2023 application for funding. This is an application that includes a total value of $25,062,529 to the disbursement from the Hampton Roads Regional Transit Fund in connection therewith in the funding agreement that would make that disbursement. Turn the floor back over to you, sir. We also have with us Mr. William Harrell, Chief Executive Officer of HRT as well. Welcome, sir, and thank you for coming today.
Any questions on item 6F? Then Councilor Greenwood, would you please read the suggested motion?
Yes, sir. The motion is as follows. The commissioners of the member jurisdictions of Chesapeake, Hampton, Newport News, Norfolk, Portsmouth, and Virginia Beach One, approve the fiscal year 2023 application for funding made by the Transportation District Commission of Hampton Roads. Two, authorize the chair to execute and deliver a funding agreement relating to such application in the form consistent with past practice with such changes, insertions, or omissions as may be finalized by such officer with the advice of the executive director and the commission's general counsel. And three, authorize the chair and executive director, either of whom may act, to take such action as may be deemed necessary or appropriate to provide for the payment and the disbursement of $25,062,529 from the Hampton Roads Regional Transit Fund when required under such funding agreement.
I request a motion in a second.
Okay, I'm sorry, was it?
Mayor West was the motion.
Do we have a second?
Mayor Price. All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Director Page.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And thank you for that. The agenda, section 7 are the informational items on the agenda today. In your package, you'll find the HRTAC monthly financial report, which is attachment 7A. 7B are the two reports that you see normally in your packet, one for the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel projects and one from Mr. Hall's team working on the first 6 projects outside of HRTAC and the HREL land. Also, sir, I want to call to your attention that the HRTAC regular meeting, the next scheduled meeting will be September the 15th, based on what was just adopted on the consent agenda, and that'll occur right here in this room in person at 12:30 p.m.
Thank you. 2 items before we adjourn. One is Delegate Patton. In your absence, we welcomed you. You're here now. Welcome. And the second thing is that I think at some point this summer, we will actually have Mary the tunnel boring machine in place. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, I believe so.
Will there be opportunities for us maybe to go out and observe it, maybe as it prepares to, as you position it to go into the ground?
I will run that by Mr. Utterback, who's project director, and see what the schedule is.
All right, I was asking on your behalf. That's our last item. With that, we are adjourned.